What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Progressive Podcast. I'm your host, Luke Lamont, and today we're going to do a Q&A episode. Okay then, guys, so question number one. Which is better, fasted or non-fasted exercise? Okay, so this is something that's come to light lately in weight training, whereby if you, firstly, scrap that, fasted and non-fasted, what is it? So fasted means that you get up, you don't eat, you don't consume any calories, and you go and train. Okay, so if you have a coffee with milk, that counts as non-fasted, also known as fed cardio, because you've got milk in your coffee, which is calories. If you had a black coffee, then that would count as fasted because there's no calories in there. If you were to perhaps have a Monster, that would count as non-fasted or fed because you've had calories. There's a few calories in the 0-calorie Monsters. All right. But if you were to have absolutely nothing, that would count as fasted. Now, the age-old myth is, and it kind of makes sense, that if you go into the gym in the morning without consuming any calories, you train, whether that's cardio or whether that's weights, that you burn fat because you've slept all night, used up all your energy, and then you've not eaten, so you're going to go in and you're going to burn body fat. That's not always the case. Okay, so fasted and non-fasted, there's no better, basically, in terms of fat loss. Now, if we're looking at strength, this is where I was going to go to at the beginning. There's things that have come to light lately whereby that if you go in fasted and do weight training, you're probably going to be weaker than what if you were to go in having had a meal. Okay, so that's obviously set on certain people. Me personally, I prefer to go in early on. So if that means going in fasted, then that's fine by me. I know I'm going to be more energetic and have a better session if I go earlier. If that means going fasted, then that's fine. If I can have a meal like I did today, I had some oats and a banana and I went in, I had a great session. And I caned it, so it was cool. It kind of depends what you prefer. So if you're somebody that can't stomach something in the morning or doesn't want to get up a little bit earlier in order to eat, you just want to get up, go to the gym and train, then that's cool. Come the end of the day, come the end of 24 hours, the people that done fasted versus fed or non-fasted, they burn roughly the same amount of fat. So initially you burn more fat by doing fasted, but by doing non-fasted or fed, you kind of catch up throughout the day. It all comes down to your calorie intake. That's like the ultimate sort of the king and what's going to determine whether you lose or not whether you go in fasted or non-fasted. So the ultimate answer is you do whatever you prefer. If you prefer to go in fasted, go in fasted. If you prefer to have a meal, have a meal. If you prefer to go in not eating but had milk and a coffee, then that's absolutely fine. You do whatever you prefer, whether that's for fat loss or muscle building. Just know that there might be a little bit longer to get strength gains by going in fasted. But if that's something you prefer, then it's only going to make your session better anyway. So, okay, question 2 then. So how many reps should I be doing on an exercise for fat loss? Rep ranges or total amount of reps is sort of varied. So it does depend on your goal. So if your goal is fat loss, then I'd say do the same amount of reps that built you the muscle in order to lose the fat. Okay, so that's going to be for more experienced lifters who have gone through a muscle gaining phase or a strength gaining phase. Okay, so if you got that muscle built by doing 8 reps, 10 reps, 15 reps, then that's what you want to be doing when you're losing fat. Okay, you don't want to overcomplicate things. You don't want to completely change things. You want to kind of do what you've already done. If you're somebody who's fairly new to the gym or hasn't been consistent or I've got very little experience, then you want to be going in and you want to be going for a rep range that you find comfortable. Okay, so if you're quite new and you've not got that much strength, you've not got that much muscle mass, you don't really want to be going for the lower reps. Okay, the 3, the 5 reps, it's probably not best for you. I'd always say to keep it sort of 8 plus. All right, 6 in some cases, but again, it depends on how you lift. If you're very new to the exercises and then you're going to go and back squat, which is with a bar on your back and you're squatting for 6 reps, you're going to have to go fairly heavy. And if you're new, the chances are that you haven't got the stability, the coordination, and the strength to get up and out, especially when you're in a calorie deficit trying to lose fat. So it's going to be so much harder and it's going to be a lot unsafer. Just like if you're doing bench press, it's so much more pressure on the shoulders and on the joints when you're lifting heavy, and you might not have the joint strength to withstand that when you're fairly new and in a calorie deficit with less energy. So I'd keep those lower reps and the heavier weight for the people that are more experienced, if that's what they've done to build the muscle. So if you're new going in, then I'd probably say 8+. Females, they seem to be able to handle a lot more volume, so they tend to go for like 10+, 12 to 15 maybe, all the way up to 20, but guys can go up that high too. I'd keep it at 8 reps plus, just so that you're doing a set long enough. All right, question 3 then, guys. So how much food should butcher that one. So how much food should I be eating less of to lose fat? So basically, how much calories should you be cutting in order for you to lose fat? Now, a lot more context is required for this, as with any question really. But this one in particular, because I need to know a lot of things. So if I said, decrease by 300 calories, and you're on 1,500 calories, you're going to be left with 1,200, which is going to be very difficult. If you're somebody who's on 3,000 calories and decrease 300 calories, you could potentially go to decreasing by 500 calories. So it's very person dependent. Now, you might not be counting calories. So for me to say, X amount of calories should be decreased from your diet, that won't really give much clues as to how much you should be eating less of. So it's a very contextual question. So for example, if you're you're maintaining your body weight at around 2,500 calories, then you want to be eating around about 300 calories less. If you're not training and you're consuming 2,500 calories and you're maintaining your body weight, then training will probably put you in that calorie deficit, which means you don't need to decrease your calories. Or you could just decrease your calories by 100 calories per day, and that's most likely going to be several hundred calories less over the week. So then you're going to be losing. Now, if you wanted to go at a faster rate, then you'd increase the amount of work that you do, and you'd increase the amount of calories cut from your diet. If you weren't counting calories, then you'd be looking at sort of habits. So this is something I covered in the last episode. So if, for example, you're having as a snack or as a breakfast, say, 3 eggs and 3 toast. Now you take away 1 piece of toast, that's going to be roughly 100 calories less per day. Now, if you're having 10 tablespoons of rice, cooked rice, with your lunch each day, and you go down to, say, 6 tablespoons of rice, you've cut more calories. If you have roughly 10 potatoes with your evening meal, and you go down to 6 potatoes with your evening meal, then again, you've cut calories, okay? So these are the sort of things you want to be looking at. It's much easier to go from the calories perspective and just say, right, decrease 300 calories each day, and then hit the remaining calories with the foods that are energy dense and you enjoy. But not everybody wants to count calories, so this is where it becomes a little bit more tough for some people, and it does require a little bit more of I'm trying to think of the word. Basically, you got to look a little bit more at what your plate is, okay? So roughly how many potatoes you have in each meal, and then decrease from there. Roughly how many tablespoons of rice you put on your plate, and then decrease from there. So there is got to be some sort of tracking, and then that way you can cut calories. The flip side is, if you don't want to cut calories, you then burn more calories. So if you're currently going to the gym 3 times per week and that's all, then can you start doing 3 lots of cardio on the back of that for, say, half an hour, and that'll be roughly another 600 calories burnt per week. Doubt you'll lose a pound of fat per week doing that, but you're still going to be in a calorie deficit, and over time it'll build up, it'll add up, and you will decrease the amount of fat that you have. Okay, question number 4. How many meals should I have each day? Is it 6? So yeah, the old myth again is eat 6 meals per day and that will help lose fat. Not necessarily. Again, it comes down to you being in that energy deficit, that calorie deficit. The old 6 meals per day came about because of magazines and bodybuilders, and they eat so much food that 3 meals per day just isn't enough anymore. 4 meals per day isn't enough because they'll just be too stuffed and they won't be able to finish all the meals. So by breaking it up into 6 meals, it becomes much easier to eat. Okay? So that's why the 6 is there. There's another reason as to why more meals can be more beneficial. Not always, not to everybody. But by having more meals, they will be smaller, but you're spacing them out throughout the day rather than having 3 big-ish meals and then waiting hours between. If you're somebody who likes to eat regularly, then 6 meals may be helpful. I personally go for 4 meals, 3 or 4 meals, and then snacks in between, but I hit calories. So as long as I hit my calories for the day, I'm cool, whether that's eating 8 meals or 2 meals and then a bunch of snacks, whatever. As long as I hit my calories, I'm okay with that. Each day is different for me. Again, if you're not counting calories, then you want to be looking at sort of habits and routines and things like that. So it could be that you don't have breakfast and then you try not to eat for as long as possible. And then you have a breakfast maybe at like 11, half 11, which then you're probably not going to have lunch at 12. You're probably going to wait a little bit longer, maybe have it at like half 1, 2. And then you're not going to have tea at 5. You'll probably again wait a little bit longer and then potentially have it round about 6 or 7 o'clock. And then that might work perfectly, having those 3 meals, staggering them a bit and then having them a little bit, starting them off a little bit later on. Whereas some people need to get up and eat. And if you get up and eat and then you've got a late night or you're up till 11, say at night, but you're eating your first meal at 6 and then you like to eat regularly, that's where the 6 meals will probably make sense and help you out. If you were a 3 meal person, then you probably want to dot snacks in between each meal. There are no magic meals, magic number of meals to have each day. It's all down to what you prefer, what fits in with your schedule. So if you're super busy and you are always on the go, then it's probably going to be very difficult to have 6 meals. So you're probably better off having fewer meals and maybe snacks like protein bars, protein shakes and things like that. Or perhaps you're at a desk all day, you get fidgety, you get bored, then maybe 6 meals or 5 meals or 4 meals might be beneficial because then you can eat 3 times and then it decreases you wanting chocolate or sugary things, okay? Which often comes with boredom, cravings and stuff like that. So by having a good source of protein with some vegetables or salad or fruit and then a decent amount of carbs, say 2 times whilst doing work, it's probably going to be a lot more beneficial to your blood sugar, your cravings, than not having and trying to go about and then breaking it about 3 o'clock and giving in and having a chocolate bar. All right, so there isn't any magic number. It's just whatever fits your lifestyle and what you prefer. Okay, guys, question number 5 then. So when's the best time to train? Again, it depends, okay? It's whenever suits you. So if you're a morning person, then the best time to train is probably in the morning. If you're somebody that doesn't like to get out of bed, then the best time to train is probably in the evening or afternoon. If you're somebody who works 2 till 10, then I'm not going to say, oh, train in the evening because you're in work, you're not going to be able to, so you're probably going to have to train mid-morning to early morning. If you're somebody who works 6 till 2 p.m, I'm not going to say train in the morning because you can't, you're in work, you're going to have to train in the afternoon or evening. If you're somebody that hates going into the gym in the evening because it's rammed and it's dead busy, or you feel too intimidated to go in the weights area, then I'd suggest maybe coming in your dinner hour if it's doable, or come in the morning before work. It all depends on you as an individual, okay? It could be that you don't train during the week because you can't get in when it's quiet, so you come Saturday, Sunday, or Friday afternoon or something like that, and then you base it on your day. So it could be that you're going out Saturday day, so you'll come Saturday evening, or you go Saturday morning before. It all depends on you as an individual. Okay. The only thing I will say is try and keep it consistent in your diary. That'll just help with you coming on a regular basis. And if you know it's like Monday, 3 o'clock, that's training. Okay. So if somebody says, "Oh, do you want to go out for a coffee Monday, 3 o'clock?" You're like, "No, I can't. Every Monday I go to the gym at 3 o'clock." And then try not to move those sort of goalposts. Keep those in there and then try and work around it like you would with work. If somebody said, "Oh, do you want to go for a coffee 9 a.m. Monday morning?" You're going to go, "No, I've got work." You're going to keep to that, right? Do the same sort of thing with the gym. If you can sort of get your days scheduled, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday as an example, Monday 3 o'clock, Wednesday 3 o'clock, and then Friday you finish early, so it's 12:30. So if you can keep those in there, then that's perfect for that individual. But if it doesn't work for you and it has to be 5 every day, then 5 o'clock's fine. If you're a morning person but can't train in the morning because potentially you've got kids, you're tired, you've got work, then you're going to have to make that sacrifice and go in the evening or go in the afternoon or go at a later time part of the day or whenever you can. Okay? So we can't always train when we want to. We just got to find somewhere that we can. All right? So I'm personally a morning person and love to train in the morning. Well, I prefer to train in the morning rather than the afternoon or the evening, but I can't always do that. So sometimes I have to train later on, and that's just part of my life. But it's in my diary, it's scheduled, and it's there every week so that I know like I've got to train regardless, even though I don't want to, and I'm often lacking in energy at that part of the day, like 4 o'clock on a Thursday. I still got to train because it's in my diary. All right, it's there to keep me accountable. So you train whenever you can, whenever's best for you. All right. So if you're a morning person, try and train in the morning if you can. If you're a lark or an evening person, try and an owl. Sorry, if you're an owl, try and train in the evening. You'll probably perform better. You'll probably enjoy it more. But again, it'll depend on your sort of social anxieties and stuff like that as well. So train whenever you can. That's when's best. Right, guys. So that's the end of the podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed these 5 questions. Hopefully they've helped. They are 5 questions that get commonly asked. So hopefully we put a few myths to bed there. Just to run through the 5 questions, which is better, fasted or non-fasted cardio? And weight training, it's whatever you prefer. How many reps should I be doing on an exercise for fat loss? If you've been through a muscle building phase or a maintenance phase where you're staying the way you look, staying the same basically, then those amount of reps that you've got to get to where you are. If you're new or inexperienced, then probably 8 plus reps, go as high as 20, 25. Just aim to get stronger each time. Question 3, how much food should I be eating less of to lose fat? All depends. Look for a deficit of around about 300-ish calories in most cases, sometimes 250, 200. Again, it depends on the individual. It depends how many calories you're consuming. How many meals should I have each day? Is it 6? It could be 6, it could be 3, it could be 2. It's whatever works for you. It's whatever you prefer. When's the best time to train? Whenever suits your lifestyle. If it's a morning, then train in the morning. If it's evening, train in the evening. It's whatever you can stick to each week and prefer. Right, guys, that is the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, however you consume this. Please leave a review, please subscribe, and I will love you forever. And until next time, make being progressive a habit.